Welcome to the latest edition of The Good, The Bad, and The Ugly, brought to you by the 5 Reasons Sports Network. I'm your host, Jonathan, aka 3-Piece Combo, and today we're going to be getting into the big win over the Utah Jazz last night. The Utah Jazz were coming in with the best record in the league, and this was going to be the first, well, not the first, but this was going to be the real test to see how good we were. We were coming in a 4-game win streak, trying to make it 5, closing in on the 4 seed. Now we're on the 5 seed, so we're getting pretty close to that top of the standings here in the East. And it was a great game. We came out, we grinded it out, we outscored them, we out-rebounded, and we do a lot of things great. Now, as always, for this series, we can get into the good, we'll get into the bad, and as far as the ugly goes, the ugly could be a good ugly, like a Bam block or a dunk, or a bad ugly if we go, have a drop from the three-point line. So let's go ahead and start with the good. Getting into the good, probably the best part about that game was that this team resembled the Miami Heat team of last year's finals run. This was a team that was connected. It was a team that had energy. It was a team that showed heart and fight, and it was fun to watch that team last night. It was a game where we looked like the team that we looked like beating the Milwaukee Bucks, the Boston Celtics, and pushing the Lakers even without Bam Adebayo and Goran Dragic. So let's get into the two All-Stars, actually, starting with Bam Adebayo. 19 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists, and then Jimmy Butler, 33 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists. It's such a luxury to have two All-Stars that can fill up the stat sheet, get you good percentage shooting, 12 of 22 for Jimmy, 7 of 14 for Bam. Dudes that are almost getting you triple-doubles every game. These are our two best players, and they're playing just like that, slowing down the game, especially Jimmy in the fourth quarter, going 9 of 11 from the free throw line, and Bam going 5 of 5. These are two guys that are holding it down. They're doing a great job right now, especially with moving the ball. 15 combined assists between the two of them. I mean, like I said, you couldn't ask for more from these guys, and they had a little bit of help as well, getting some help from Duncan Robinson and getting some help from Goran Dragic. The Dragon is back, and he played phenomenally. 26 points on 9 of 15 from the field, 3 of 4 from the free throw line, and 5 of 6 from the free throw line. So it was a great game from the Dragon. The 30 minutes I don't like too much just because he's just coming off an injury, but overall, when you're playing against the best team in the league, you're going to need to give it all you had, and Goran gave it all he had for us. And he was probably one of the main reasons that we won this game. Also, another great part about yesterday's game, we just out-rebounded the best rebounding team in the NBA. Utah's coming in averaging 56 rebounds a game. We held them to 36, 20 less than they're used to doing, and we had 50 rebounds. So we out-rebounded them by 14. Spo's game plan was phenomenal. He came in, he had put 2 bodies on Rudy Gobert. He'd have one guy boxing him out and then one guy behind him to tip the ball ahead. It was a phenomenal game plan, and I love what we saw. So it was a great game offensively. Like I said, a lot of good takeaways from this game. Even K. Nunn had a great game as well, and you couldn't ask for more from the whole team. They just won against the best team in the league, and we're back. Let's get into the bad. KZ Okpala. So, getting into the ugly, like you see, there was not much bad to talk about. As far as the ugly goes, let's talk about all those guys on ESPN and Bleacher Report and all these other dudes that were saying last year's Heat Finals team was a fluke. That is not true at all. This was a team that really can grind it out. And if they were all expecting this Heat team to miss the playoffs or be a low-seeded team and fall out of the hunt for the Eastern Conference Championship, that's just not going to happen. That's not what this Heat team is made of. That's not what Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo and Goran Dragic, the leaders of this team, that's not what they're going to have happen. So, like we saw last night, those guys took it on our shoulders. And the real ugly is everybody that thought that last year's run was a finals fluke, when in fact it was an actual run with a lot of superstars and a great team led by the captain Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo and our leader off the bench, UD, and Coach Spoelstra. So it was great to see this team come back and get some wins and actually put ourselves in a great position as far as it comes to seeding. So getting into some of the comments with last video against the Raptors, like I said, leave some comments down below as far as your good, your bad, and the ugly. If there's anything that you guys see that maybe I didn't see, it'll help me pick up things moving forward. So getting into Ayan Ali, frequent commenter, I appreciate you commenting. As far as the good, getting a statement win, I did feel like Coach Spo did a great job as well. Playing against a good team like the Toronto Raptors and having a good coach like Nick Nurse, it was going to be essential for Coach Spo to come in and out-coach Nick Nurse. And he did just that. He had a brilliant game plan against the Toronto Raptors, focusing on trying to shut them down from the three-point line, even though they had 20, and limiting from the paint. So it was great to see what Spo did. As far as the bad and Norman Powell going off, we do need to make an adjustment when guys start to go off. You know, whether it's Malik Monk or Kent Bazemore, when guys start to get a little hot, Coach Spo needs to make those little adjustments to stop those random scrub heat killers from coming in. And as far as your ugly, I do agree a lot, especially with the way we're winning these games right now. Tell us that Julius Randle and especially Nick Vucevic are all-stars when Jimmy and Bam are not. That's an absolute joke. Now, Vooch doesn't deserve it at all, but I'll give Julius Randle his credit where credit's due. He is playing on a poverty franchise in New York right now, and he's pretty much the main guy as far as it comes to the offensive load, maybe ahead of guys like RJ Barrett and whoever they have over there. But what you want to remember with the Knicks is they're always going to have that one guy that goes off. You know, last year was Marcus or Markieff Morris, whichever the Twins were. They would go off always playing for the Knicks, and when they went to the Clippers, you saw that cool down a lot. So Julius Randle does have a better statistic here than Bam, so you understand a little more. Give him that first year nod. But as far as Nick Vucevic having that, definitely not. Definitely not. That's not even close. So, you know, like I said, thanks, Ayan, for commenting. As always, I appreciate you commenting. Anybody that sees anything different for this Utah game, leave it in the comments below, and we'll go ahead and talk about it next game. As always, thank you guys for checking out the good, the bad, and the ugly. Brought to you by the 5 Reasons Sports Network. I'm Jonathan, and I hope you guys have a great day.